5 things you should never accept from anyone. Disrespect. Never accept any form of disrespect, whether it's verbal, emotional, or physical. Respect is fundamental in all relationships, and you deserve to be treated with dignity and kindness. Abuse. Never tolerate any form of abuse, including physical, emotional, psychological, or sexual. Abuse is never justified and should be addressed immediately, with the appropriate measures taken to ensure safety and well-being. Manipulation. Do not accept manipulative behavior from anyone. This includes attempts to control, deceive, or exploit you for someone else's benefit. Healthy relationships are based on honesty and mutual respect. Dishonesty. Never accept dishonesty or deceit. Trust is the foundation of any strong relationship, and consistent lying or hiding the truth can undermine that trust, leading to a toxic environment. Neglect. Do not accept being neglected or consistently put last. Your needs, feelings, and well-being are important, and you should be in relationships where you are valued and cared for equally. Disrespect in any form should never be accepted, as it undermines your self-worth and dignity. This can manifest in various ways, such as derogatory remarks, belittling comments, or dismissive attitudes. When someone speaks to you in a condescending tone or mocks your ideas and feelings, it can erode your self-esteem and confidence over time. Disrespect is not limited to verbal interactions. It can also be non-verbal, such as rolling eyes, dismissive gestures, or ignoring you altogether. These actions communicate that your thoughts, feelings, and presence are not valued. Accepting disrespect can lead to a toxic environment where you may feel constantly undermined and unappreciated. It sets a precedent that others can continue to treat you poorly without consequence, which can escalate into more severe forms of mistreatment. Moreover, tolerating disrespect can affect your mental and emotional well-being, leading to stress, anxiety, and depression. It is essential to establish boundaries and assertively communicate that disrespectful behavior is unacceptable. This might involve having difficult conversations, standing up for yourself, and if necessary, distancing yourself from those who consistently fail to show respect. Abuse is an intolerable behavior that should never be accepted from anyone, regardless of the circumstances. It can take many forms, each equally damaging and destructive to the victim's well-being. Physical abuse involves any form of physical harm or violence, such as hitting, slapping, pushing, or other forms of physical aggression. This type of abuse often leaves visible marks and injuries, but its impact extends far beyond the physical damage, deeply affecting the victim's sense of safety and security. Emotional abuse, on the other hand, is more insidious and can be harder to identify. It includes behaviors such as constant criticism, manipulation, humiliation, and intimidation. Emotional abusers often use tactics like gaslighting to make the victim doubt their own perceptions and sanity, leading to significant psychological distress. The scars from emotional abuse are not visible, but they can be profound, causing long-term damage to the victim's self-esteem, confidence, and mental health. Psychological abuse overlaps with emotional abuse and involves controlling behaviors, threats, and the use of fear to manipulate and dominate the victim. This form of abuse can lead to severe anxiety, depression, and a pervasive sense of powerlessness. Victims of psychological abuse may feel trapped in their situation, believing they have no options or support to escape the abuser's control. Manipulation is a harmful behavior that involves controlling or influencing someone in a deceptive or exploitative manner. It is often subtle and can be difficult to recognize, but its effects can be profoundly damaging to the victim's mental and emotional well-being. Manipulators use various tactics to achieve their goals, often at the expense of the manipulated person's autonomy and self-respect. One common form of manipulation is emotional manipulation, where the manipulator plays on the victim's feelings to control their actions or decisions. This can include guilt tripping, where the manipulator makes the victim feel responsible for their happiness or well-being, or playing the victim themselves to elicit sympathy and compliance. By exploiting the victim's empathy and desire to help, the manipulator can influence their behavior without overt coercion. Another tactic is gaslighting, a particularly insidious form of psychological manipulation, where the manipulator makes the victim doubt their own perceptions, memories, or sanity. This can involve denied facts, twisting events, or presenting false information to confuse and disorient the victim. Over time, gaslighting can erode the victim's confidence in their own judgment, making them increasingly reliant on the manipulator's version of reality. Dishonesty is a destructive force that can erode the foundation of any relationship, whether personal or professional. It involves intentionally deceiving or misleading someone, whether through outright lies, half-truths, or the omission of crucial information. Dishonesty undermines trust, which is the cornerstone of any healthy relationship. When trust is broken, it can be incredibly challenging to rebuild, leading to feelings of betrayal, hurt, and disillusionment. One of the most damaging aspects of dishonesty is that it creates a barrier between people. When someone is dishonest, they are not presenting their true self or intentions, making it impossible for genuine connection and understanding to occur. This barrier can lead to misunderstandings, conflicts, and a general sense of unease in the relationship. Over time, the accumulation of lies and deceit can create a toxic environment where suspicion and doubt prevail, making it difficult to foster a sense of safety and security. Dishonesty can manifest in various forms, each with its own set of consequences. For instance, in a romantic relationship, infidelity is a form of dishonesty that can cause deep emotional pain and damage the bond between partners. The discovery of infidelity often leads to feelings of betrayal, anger, and a profound sense of loss. It can also create a ripple effect, impacting the couple's friends, family, and even their children. Neglect is a form of mistreatment that often goes unrecognized but can be profoundly damaging to a person's emotional, physical, and psychological well-being. It involves the failure to provide necessary care, attention, and support, which can manifest in various contexts, including personal relationships, familial settings, and professional environments. Neglect, whether intentional or unintentional, communicates a lack of concern and respect for the affected individual's needs and well-being, leading to feelings of worthlessness, isolation, and abandonment. In personal relationships, neglect can take many forms, from emotional neglect to physical and financial neglect. Emotional neglect occurs when an individual's emotional needs are consistently ignored or dismissed. This might involve a lack of communication, empathy, or emotional support from a partner, family member, or friend. Over time, the neglected person may feel unimportant, unloved, and disconnected, which can severely impact their self-esteem and mental health. The absence of emotional intimacy and understanding can lead to feelings of loneliness and despair, even when in close proximity to the neglecting party. Physical neglect, on the other hand, involves failing to provide necessary physical care and support. This can include neglecting to provide adequate food, clothing, shelter, or medical care. In familial settings, this form of neglect is particularly harmful to children, the elderly, and individuals with disabilities who rely on others for their basic needs. Physical neglect can result in serious health consequences, developmental delays in children, and a diminished quality of life for all affected individuals. The physical and emotional toll of being neglected can lead to long-term health issues, both mental and physical.